Well, let's see. We're now going to be looking at angles of triangles, chapter section 4-2, beginning on page 246. And the first thing that we're going to consider is the triangle angle sum theorem, which is just a fancy way of saying what I hope all of you already know, and that is that the angles, the three angles in the interior of a triangle, are going to all total a measure of 180 degrees. And we can take this information along with some other skills that we have learned. And let's see, now we're being asked to find the measure of each numbered triangle. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Let's see. Well, let's first look, I guess. I think I'm first going to think about angle 2. And the reason why is that's the easiest. Might as well get the easiest out first. All right, so I've got a triangle here. Let's say this triangle is KML. And I see that this angle here is 57 degrees and this one's 71. And all three of those angles must equal 180. So let's say we got the measure of angle 2 plus this measure of MLK, which is 57, plus this measure of MKL is 71, and all that must equal 180. So let's see then the measure of angle 2 plus, let's see, what's 57 plus 71? 57 plus 71 is 128. Equals 180. And let's subtract 128 from both sides. And therefore, the measure of angle 2 is going to be 52. 180 minus 128, 52. All right, so this one's 52. All right, well, I guess I got really no choice but to go ahead and tackle angle 1, but angle 1 is an adjacent angle to MLK, which is 57, and these two angles right here are a linear pair, which means that they're supplementary. They've got to equal 180. So the measure of angle 1 plus this angle right here, MLK, that's 57. Well, that's got to equal 180. And if I subtract 57 from 180, then the measure of angle 1 is going to equal, let's see, 10 minus 7 is 3. We had to borrow the 1 over here from the 8, so I got a 7 minus 5 is 2. It's going to be 123. So the measure of angle 1 is 123. So this is 123. And that makes finding the measure of angle 3 fairly simple, because if the measure of angle 1 is 123, let's put this in a different color just for fun. If the measure of angle 1 is 123, and the measure of angle, let's call it LKJ, or we could call it JKL. Let's call it JKL. JKL is 28. And then plus the measure of angle 3. Well, according to the triangle angle sum theorem, that's got to equal 180. And let's see, 128 and, no, 123. That's 123. Woo, boy. Okay, 123. And 28. Let's see, what is that? That's 151. So 151 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180. Let's subtract 151 from both sides, and therefore then the measure of angle 3 is going to equal 29. And so this is going to be 29. Well, Shazam, we did it. Okay. Let's look at one more. Whoa, Nelly. This one gets a little bit more complicated. Find the measures of each numbered angle. All right, well, I've got some angle measures identified. And I see that the measure of angle 8 right here and the measure of angle 9 is congruent. But I don't know the measure of angle 6 right yet, so that doesn't help me. Well, let's see. I think I'm going to start here with the measure of angle 7. So the measure of angle 7 plus this angle y, which is 58, plus this angle, well, really it's yzx, is 65. You know why I didn't call it the measure of angle 7? Angle z, because angle z includes that 65 degrees plus that angle 9, which I don't know yet. And this has all got to equal 180. So let's find the measure of angle 7. So measure of angle 7 plus 58 plus 65. 58 plus 65. 8 and 5 is 3. Carry a 1. Let's see. So 6 and 6, 123. Equals 180. Why did I put 2 right there? Measure of angle 7. And we're going to subtract 123 from both sides, so the measure of angle 7 equals 57. All right, so this is 57. That acute triangle right there. Now, I can use that information to find the measure of angle 6, because the measures of angles 7 and 6, if I look at that, that's on the line WY. They're adjacent angles. They must be linear pair. That means they must be supplementary. Okay, so that means that the measure of angle 6 and the measure of angle 7, which is 57 degrees, has to equal 180. So the measure of angle 6 plus measure of angle 7, which is 57 degrees, equals 180. And so therefore the measure of angle 6, when I subtract 57 from both sides, it's got to be 123. So this is 123. All right, well, armed with that information, I could find the measures of angles 8 and 9 because they're congruent. So let's say that I say that since they're congruent, I'm going to say that this is x and this is x. And so using the triangle angle sum theorem, that means that angles 8 and angles 9 plus angles 23 plus angle 6, which is 123, must equal 180. So let's say, then I would have, so I'm going to substitute x for a measure of angle 8, so I got x, and I'm going to substitute x for the measure of angle 9, so that's x, plus the measure of angle 6, which is 123. That all has to equal 180 according to the triangle angle sum theorem. So then I've got 2x, x plus x is 2x, plus 123 equals 180. And we're going to subtract 23 from both sides. So then I got 2x equals 57. And when we divide 57 by 2, then x is going to equal 28.5, which means that the measure of angle 8 is 28.5, and the measure of angle 9 is 28.5. So we got those two. So that leaves us with 4 and 5. 4 and 5. All right, so if I look at measure angles 5 and 6, again, I can see that those are linear pair. They're adjacent angles on this line segment, VZ. And the measure of angle 6 is 123. And so 5 and 6 are supplementary. So then I can say that the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6, which is 123, equals 180. We're going to subtract 123 from both sides, so therefore the measure of angle 5 is equal to 57. So this one right here is 57. And now I can finish this thing off with the measure to find the measure of angle 4, because this angle here and this angle here, these two angles plus measure of angle 4, according to the triangle angle sum theorem, must equal 180. And so then I've got the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 5, which is 57, plus this measure of angle, we're going to call it VWX, which is 67. That all has to equal 180. And so then the measure of angle 4 plus, let's see, what's 57 and 67? 57 and 67. 7 and 7 is 4. Carry 1. 6 and 6, 124 equals 180. Let's subtract 124 from both sides. That should give us the measure of angle 4. And the measure of angle 4 then is going to be, let's see, 10 minus 4 is 6. Take away the 1 from the 8. 7 minus 2 is 5. 56 degrees. And so the measure of angle 4 is 56. Wow. Okay, now that, my friends and neighbors, countrymen, fellow cohorts in the study of geometry, that was right fun. That was rather fun. But a challenge, but fun.